In the year 2175, Earth was not like before. The skies were dark with smoke, the cities were broken. Most people lived under the rule of alien machines called the Sky Lords. They watched everything. They controlled humans. No one was allowed to show emotions. Love, fear, anger, all were forbidden. Jared was one of the few humans still living alone. He was a mechanic. He fixed old machines in the lower city ruins where no one else dared to go. The alien patrols did not come there often. They believed nothing important was left in the ruins. Jared liked to stay away from people. He had lost his family in the war 10 years ago. Since then, he trusted no one. He worked all day fixing broken tech, selling it in secret markets, and going home before nightfall. But one day changed everything. It was a cold evening. Wind howled through the broken towers. Jared walked through the dusty streets looking for metal parts. He turned a corner. Near an old communication tower, the tower was half destroyed. Its sharp pieces stood like teeth against the sky. That's when he saw her, a girl, maybe 16 years old, sat behind a pile of bricks. She was dirty, her clothes torn, her face pale. Her eyes looked scared, but they were sharp, watching every move Jared made. Jared stopped. He hadn't seen a child in years. Most were taken by the Sky Lords or died in the lower zones. What was she doing here? "Hey," he said softly, keeping his hands out to show he meant no harm. "Are you all right?" The girl didn't answer. She only stared. Jared looked around. No one was there. The silence was strange. Usually machines buzzed or distant drones flew by. But now only the wind. "You'll freeze out here," Jared said. "Come with me, I have food." Still no answer. But when he turned to leave, he heard footsteps. She was following him. He took her to his underground home, a hidden place beneath a junkyard. It was small but safe. Warm lights, clean water, and some food. He gave her a blanket and a piece of dry bread. "What's your name?" he asked. She looked at him for a long time. Then finally she spoke in a quiet voice. "I don't remember." Jared raised an eyebrow. "You don't remember? Your name?" She shook her head. "Where are your parents?" "I don't have any," she whispered. He sighed. "Great," he said to himself. "Just what I needed. A mystery girl." But he couldn't throw her out. He remembered what it felt like to lose everything, so he let her stay. Days passed. She didn't talk much, but she watched everything. Watched how Jared worked with machines. Watched how he fixed broken tech. Sometimes she would touch the tools when he wasn't looking, and somehow they worked better. One day Jared found her in his workshop. A broken drone lay on the table. He had been trying to fix it for weeks, but now it was working. Its lights blinked. The arms moved. He looked at her. "Did you do this?" The girl nodded, just a little. "How?" "You don't even know what these parts do. I just feel them," she said. "Like they talk to me." Jared's heart skipped. That was not normal. Not even expert engineers could do that. That night he checked his scanners. The girl's body heat was strange, too steady, like a machine, and her heartbeat. It changed when she touched tech. She wasn't just a lost girl, he started thinking. What if she was part of some secret program? What if the Sky Lords were looking for her? Helping her could be dangerous. But still, he couldn't send her away. She looked at him one night and said, "Why are you helping me?" He answered, "Because no one helped me when I needed it. Maybe that's why I'm still alive, to help you." For the first time she smiled, but things got weirder. The machines in his home started acting strange. The lights flickered when she walked by. His scanner flashed warnings when she touched metal. One day, an old military bot, long dead, turned its head toward her. And powered on. Jared stared. "What the hell are you?" She looked scared. "I don't know," but Jared knew one thing now. This girl was not just human. And if the Sky Lords found out he was hiding her, they would kill him. He had a choice. Leave her and be safe. Or protect her and face the danger. He looked at the girl, small, quiet, afraid, and made his decision. He would protect her. No matter what, but deep inside he knew, she isn't just lost. She's dangerous. Jared. Didn't sleep that night. He lay on the metal floor of his underground home, staring at the ceiling. The old lights flickered softly and the hum of energy lines filled the silence. Across the room, the girl slept curled in a blanket. Her face calm, but Jared's mind was far from calm. Earlier that day, she had made a dead military bot wake up. With just her voice, that shouldn't be possible. He had worked with machines his whole life. He knew bots didn't respond without codes, tools, or a power core. But the girl had only placed her hand on the machine and whispered something, and it moved. That bot had been dead for 10 years. He sat up slowly and looked at her. She was sleeping like any normal kid. But she wasn't normal. Who or what was she? The next morning, Jared decided to test her. He brought out a broken voice drone, small, round, and silent. It had no memory chip and a burnt-out power. So, he set it on the work table. "Can you fix this?" he asked. The girl rubbed her eyes and walked over. She touched the drone gently. "No tools?" she asked. "No tools," he said. She closed her eyes. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the drone's center light blinked once, twice, then glowed steady. It spoke. "Voice command ready." Jared froze. The girl stepped back. "It listens." "To me," she whispered, "like they're alive." He stared at the drone. It was working, fully online. Jared's stomach turned. This was bigger than anything he had seen. She had no training, no code, no power source, and yet she brought machines to life. Later that day, he tried to ask more questions. "Where did you come from?" he asked while adjusting a satellite dish on the roof. "I don't remember," she said quietly. "Do you know why machines follow your voice?" "No." "What's the first thing you do remember?" The girl was quiet for a long time. "I remember fire," she finally said. "Screaming, metal walls, someone calling me." "But I don't know who." Jared felt a chill. "That didn't sound like Earth. Do you remember your name?" he asked. She hesitated. Then, like it came from somewhere deep inside, she whispered. "Lyra." Jared nodded. "Okay, Lyra, that's a good name." That night, strange things happened again. The entire hideout went dark for a second. Then the lights turned red. A warning flashed on the console. "Unauthorized entity detected." Jared rushed to the panel and shut the alert down. Only one thing could trigger that kind of warning: alien satellite scanners. They were searching the area. He turned to Lyra. "Did you do something?" She looked scared. "I don't know." The console flickered again. A message appeared in an alien language. Jared had seen it before. It was the Sky Lord's code. The message repeated twice, then translated itself. "Target signal active." "Search initiated." Jared's heart pounded. "They're looking for you," he said. Lyra stepped back. "I didn't mean to." Jared grabbed his gear bag. "We need to leave, now." They climbed out through the back tunnel into the ruins. Jared took them deep into the abandoned subway. It was cold and full of shadows, but safer than the surface. "Why are they hunting you?" Jared asked. Lyra looked up, her eyes glowing. Faintly in the dark. "Because I wasn't supposed to survive." "What do you mean?" "I think I was made for something," she said, holding her head like it hurt. "But something went wrong. They tried to destroy me." "But I escaped." Jared stopped walking. "Made? Like a clone or a robot?" "I'm not a robot," she said. "I feel pain. I feel scared. I'm human, I think." "But you talk to machines?" "I don't talk to them," she said. "They just listen." Jared looked at her. She was more afraid of herself than of the aliens chasing her. "Listen," he said firmly. "I don't care what you are. I'm not leaving you behind." Lyra looked at him with wide eyes. No one had ever said that to her before. They found a place to hide, an old subway control room. Dust covered the screens, but it was dry and quiet. Jared sat down and checked his wrist scanner. The alien signal was getting closer. Lyra looked around. "What is this place?" "Used to control trains, a long time ago," Jared said. "Before the war." She touched one of the broken panels. It powered on instantly. Jared shook his head. "You're doing that again." She smiled a little. "Maybe they left something inside me. Something I can't turn off." "Whatever it is," Jared said, "the Sky Lords want it back." Just then, the scanner beeped again. A drone was nearby. Scanning, searching. Jared turned off all lights. He held his breath. Outside, they heard the faint hum of the drone passing. Overhead, it stopped, waited, then moved on. They were safe, for now. Jared looked at Lyra. She wasn't just a mystery. She was a signal, and every machine in the world was listening. The city above them was no longer quiet. Heavy sounds echoed across the ruined skyline. The hum of search drones, the sharp screech of scanners, and the distant thunder of patrol ships flying low. The Skylords were hunting, and they were close, underground. In the broken subway control room, Jared tightened the straps on his gear bag. His eyes stayed on the wrist scanner. The red circle was blinking faster now. "They're still tracking your signal," he said. Lyra stood silently beside the control panel. Her small fingers gripped the edge of the metal table. The panel was still glowing from her touch. "I didn't send any signal," she whispered. "I know," Jared said. "But your body must be emitting something they can trace." "Lyra, look down, then I should leave. If I go alone, they won't hurt you." Jared turned toward her, voice firm. "Don't say that again. I brought you here. I protect what's mine." She stared at him. No one had ever claimed her before, not as a weapon, not as a threat, and definitely not as something worth protecting. The next hour was tense. They moved slowly through underground tunnels, using old maintenance paths and closed-off shafts. Jared knew these routes from years of scavenging. He avoided the open zones where Skylords could scan from the sky, but even here, deep below the city, they weren't safe. Lyra's presence was changing things. Old machines flickered when she walked past. Security cameras that hadn't worked in decades suddenly turned and followed her. Jared noticed it first when an old transit sign began displaying a message in her voice. "I'm not supposed to be here." He stopped and stared. "Did you do that?" Lyra shook her head. "I didn't mean to." He didn't answer. But the fear was growing in his chest. By nightfall, they reached the lower edge of Sector 9. The Hive border. Jared had never gone past this point. The Hive zone was dangerous. It was where the Skylords stored their central AI cores. Anyone who entered without permission never came back. Still, it was their only chance. "The scanners? Don't work past this line," Jared said. "Too much interference from the Hive's walls." Lyra looked up at the distant black towers rising into the sky. "Are we going in?" Jared nodded. "We'll hide near the edge. Just long enough to lose the signal." They climbed through a cracked ventilation pipe and dropped into the outer ring of the Hive. The silence here was different. It wasn't peaceful, it was watched. Like the walls had eyes. As they walked, Lyra slowed down. Her eyes became distant, like she was hearing something far away. "What is it?" Jared asked. "I hear voices." "What kind of voices?" "They're not human," she said. "They're machines talking to me." Jared froze. "What are they saying? They want me to come closer?" He grabbed her hand. "Then we're going the other way." But it was too late. Above them, something moved. A dark shape descended from the air, fast, silent, and huge. It was not a normal drone. It was a Reaper-class Sentinel, a rare machine used by Skylords, only for high-value targets. And it had found them. The machine hovered above the broken ground. Its weapons locked in place. Its voice was cold and robotic. "Unauthorized entity detected. Codename Lyra 9. Stand down or be neutralized." Jared stood in front of her. "She's just a girl." The machine didn't care. It charged its weapon. Energy crackled in the air. Lyra stepped forward. "No," she said. "You don't control me." The machine paused. Jared's scanner blinked wildly. Something was happening. Lyra's body was glowing, faint lines of blue light moving under her skin. Her eyes turned silver. She raised her hand. The Reaper stopped moving, frozen mid-air. Then, slowly, it turned its weapons away. "Command overridden," it said. And then, like a sleeping giant, the Reaper shut down and dropped to the ground. Jared couldn't believe what he saw. "You shut it down." "With your mind," he whispered. Lyra fell to her knees. She was breathing hard. "I didn't mean to. It just listened." Jared ran to her. "Are you okay?" She nodded weakly. I think I'm remembering something. What is it? I was made in the hive, but not by them. Someone human helped create. Me. Jared looked around. That's impossible. No humans work in the hive. Lyra's eyes were wide now. Someone did, a scientist. She called herself Mirren. She said I was special. She said I was a key. A key to what? I don't know yet. They moved quickly after that, deeper into the hive border where the scanners couldn't reach. Jared found a hidden room behind a steel wall, an old monitoring station. It was dusty, broken, but quiet. Safe. For now. Jared set up a small light and gave Lyra some water. As she rested. He sat beside her. They're going to send more, he said. Bigger ones. Maybe even hunters. Lyra looked at him. Why are you still helping me? You saw what I am? Jared looked into her tired, glowing eyes. I don't care what you are, he said. Machine, human, both. You didn't choose this. But you're not alone anymore. She leaned her head on his shoulder. For the first time she felt safe, but outside, far above the hive, the Sky Lords were not done. They had seen the Reaper. Fall. And now they were coming. Asterisk. The room was quiet, but Lyra's mind was loud. She sat on the cold metal floor, eyes shut tight, hands gripping her head. Visions came like lightning, sharp, fast, and strange. She didn't know if they were memories or dreams, but they felt real. Jared stood nearby, watching her carefully. He had seen her shut down a Reaper-class drone just by raising her hand. Now she was shaking like something inside her was breaking. Lyra, he said gently, kneeling beside her. What's happening? I see things, she whispered. Places I've never been. People I've never met. Tell me, she looked up. Her voice trembled. I saw stars, ships, and a woman. She wore white. She called me Commander. Commander? Jared echoed. Yes, but I've never been a commander. I don't even remember being outside Earth. Jared sat back slowly. Those aren't just dreams. Someone might have put memories inside you. Why? She asked. Why give me a life that isn't mine? He had no answer. Later that night, while Lyra slept, Jared connected his wrist console to an old hive terminal. He had pulled it from the control room hours before. It was dusty and damaged, but it still had data inside, logs from the past. He searched for one word. Lyra-9. Lines of alien code flashed. Then something caught his eye, a hidden file protected by a human encryption key. That didn't make sense. Only hive engineers could access these files, and all hive workers were now either AI or alien controlled. He cracked the file using an old rebel tool. It took 12 minutes. Then the screen lit up. Project LYR, a top-secret human-AI hybrid. Trial subject L9, designed to bond with single human operator. Emotional link required to unlock full potential. Jared's hand froze. He read more. Only one match found. Blood signature ID 1C7XJ. Subject name Jared Thorne. He stared in disbelief. Him. The match was him. Suddenly it made sense. Lyra had connected with him from the beginning. She followed him. She listened to him. She felt safe only around him because she was designed for him. He felt dizzy. He had lived alone for years, thinking he was forgotten by the world. But now it turned out someone had built a living weapon and tied her to his DNA. He didn't know whether to feel honored or terrified. In the morning, Lyra opened her eyes. She looked pale but calmer. I saw her again, she said. The woman in white. Her name was Mirren. She created me. She said I was built to protect, not destroy. Jared sat beside her. She was right, but something went wrong. Lyra said, they turned the project into something else. They tried to erase me. I escaped, but I lost my memory. Jared nodded slowly. Lyra, I found a file. You were made to connect with one person. That person is me. She looked at him in silence. Her lips parted, but no words came. It's why the machines listen to you when I'm around, Jared said. You're not just a creation, you're a partner, a protector. But what if I hurt someone? She asked. What if I lose control? You won't, he said, because I'm here and you're not alone. Outside, the hive zone was changing. Drones moved in tighter patterns. Scout bots flew lower than usual. The Sky Lords were narrowing their search. Jared knew they didn't have much time. He powered up a comms device, an old rebel signal booster. It hadn't been used in years. But maybe, just maybe, someone out there was still listening. He sent a message. "This is Jared Thorne. I have the girl, Lyra 9. She's alive. And she remembers, if anyone out there remembers Project Lyra, we need help." He didn't expect an answer, but a few minutes later, a green light blinked. A reply came through. In a robotic female voice. "Jared Thorne. This is Myra Unit 02. We remember. Coordinates attached. Come alone. Bring the girl." Lyra heard the message. "Who is Myra?" Jared exhaled slowly. She was part of the old Resistance AI network. Most were wiped out years ago, but if she's alive, she might know how to unlock your full memory. They packed their gear. The coordinates pointed toward the dead spiral, a restricted zone just outside the hive. No one went there. It was full of broken machines, dark energy fields, and ruins from the First War. But now, it was their only hope. As they walked through the blackened tunnels, Lyra held Jared's hand tightly. "I feel like something is waking up inside me," she said. "That's okay," Jared said. "We'll face it together." They reached the edge of the spiral, and standing there in the smoke and fire was a figure, a woman, her body part machine, part human, her face hidden behind a glass mask. "Welcome home, Lyra," she said. "We've been waiting." The woman in the mask stood like a shadow from the past. Her voice was calm but cold. "Welcome home, Lyra. We've been waiting." Jared stepped in front of Lyra, instinctively protecting her. "Who are you?" he asked. The woman removed her mask slowly. Half her face was machine, silver lines across her skin, one eye glowing red. The other half was human, soft, tired. "I am Myra Unit 02, she said. "Created by Dr. Mirren to protect Project Lyra. I helped you escape once. Now I will help you remember." Lyra's breath caught. Her hands trembled. "I know you." "I've seen you in my dreams," Myra nodded. "Because they weren't dreams. They were memories, suppressed, hidden, but now they must return." They followed Myra into the dead spiral, a ruined area full of crushed machines and twisted metal towers. The ground sparked with broken energy fields. Most people feared this place. It was where old wars ended and new ones began. At the center stood a dome-shaped bunker, half buried under debris. "This is the last resistance hub," Myra explained. "Everything left of Project Lyra is inside." Jared looked around. "And what's inside you?" Myra paused. "Truth, pain, and the last key to who Lyra really is." Inside the bunker, the walls glowed with soft blue light. Screens lined the halls, playing broken footage, soldiers running, machines screaming, a young girl floating in a tube. Lyra stopped in front of one screen. Her eyes locked onto the image of a woman, dark hair, kind smile, white coat. "That's her," she whispered. "That's Dr. Mirren." "She was your creator," Myra said, "but more than that. She was your mother." Silence filled the room. Lyra stepped back. "That can't be true." "She gave you her DNA. She raised you in the lab. She taught you to feel. To choose?" Jared placed a hand on Lyra's shoulder. "You were never just a weapon." "No," Myra said. "She made you to end the war. To free humans from the Sky Lords." "But something went wrong," Lyra said softly. "Didn't it?" Myra nodded. "They found out. Project Lyra was shut down. Everyone was killed except you. Mirren erased your memory and sent you into hiding. That's when I took you into the ruins and vanished." Lyra's voice cracked. "Why am I only remembering now?" "Because the hive is waking up," Myra said. "And you're the only one who can stop it." Suddenly alarms blared. Red lights flashed across the bunker. Jared's scanner beeped wildly. "They're here," he said. Myra's eyes darkened. "Sky Lords, they followed your signal. They must have locked onto your neural pattern when you connected with the Reaper." Outside, the ground shook. Heavy footsteps, a loud metallic roar. "They sent hunters," Jared said. "We need to go, now." Myra moved quickly. There's an old exit tunnel behind the bunker. Leads to the outer wall. Lyra didn't move. What is it? Jared asked. I can feel them, she said. The machines. They're calling my name. Don't listen, Jared said, pulling her away. No, she whispered. I need to. Stop them. Myra grabbed Lyra's hand. Not yet. You're not ready. You must survive first. The three ran through the lower tunnel. Walls shook. Dust rained from the ceiling. The sound of metal claws tearing through the bunker echoed behind. Then a hunter burst through the far wall, tall, spider-like, glowing with red light. Jared fired his pulse gun. The shots bounced off its armor. It shielded! He yelled. Lyra turned and raised both hands. Her eyes turned silver. I said, stop. The tunnel lights exploded. The hunter froze mid-step, electricity sparking from its limbs. Then it fell. Hard and still, Jared looked at her. You're getting stronger. No, Lyra said. I'm remembering. They reached the exit hatch, but it was locked. I can't open this, Jared said, typing fast into the panel. I can, Lyra said. She touched the door. It slid open instantly. Outside, the hive walls stretched high. Drones swarmed the sky. We'll never outrun them, Jared said. Myra opened a panel on her chest. Inside was a glowing core. This is my last energy cell, she said. I'll use it to create a pulse. It will freeze their scanners for 10 seconds. No, Lyra said. You'll shut down. Myra smiled. I was made to protect you. Lyra, let me do that one last time. She turned, walked toward the approaching drones, and raised her hands. Her body glowed bright, then exploded in a shockwave of light. The sky went silent. Go! Jared shouted. They ran into the forest beyond the hive wall, into wild territory untouched by machines. When they finally stopped, the world was quiet again. Lyra sat down under a broken tree, her face pale. She saved us, she whispered. She believed in you, Jared said. Just like Mirren did. Lyra looked at her hands. I feel like something is still locked inside me. There is, Jared said, but we'll find it, together. She looked up. Her eyes were no longer just human. There was something more, something powerful, something awake. The forest beyond the hive was strange. The air was cold, but alive. Trees grew wild, untouched by machines. Broken drones lay scattered like bones in the grass. This was no man's land where the Skylords did not enter and no humans dared to live. Jared and Lyra moved slowly, tired and quiet. The light of Myra's final sacrifice still echoed in Lyra's memory. They stopped near a shallow stream. Jared checked the scanner again. No signals, no drones, no warnings. They were safe. For now, Lyra sat on a rock, watching the water. Her reflection stared back at her, the same face. But it felt different now. I don't know who I am anymore, she whispered. You're Lyra, Jared said, sitting beside her. But what does that mean? Am I human? Machine? Both? Neither? Jared looked into her eyes, glowing faintly, alive with energy. You're someone who made a choice. You chose to protect life, not destroy it. That's all I need to know. She smiled a little. That night, they camped under the stars. Jared made a fire from broken wood and scrap parts. They ate old food packs and shared silence. Lyra finally spoke. When Myra died, I felt something break. Then open. It's like her death unlocked a part of me. I'm starting to remember more. What kind of memories? Feelings, she said. Laughter, fear, love. I don't think they were programmed. I think they were real, Jared nodded slowly. Emotions can't be coded. They're learned. You earned yours. She turned to him, voice soft. Do you ever feel like you're supposed to be alone? He smiled sadly. Every day. Until I met you. There was a pause. The fire crackled gently. Then Lyra said something he didn't expect. If I survive this, if we win, would you stay with me? Not because I'm a mission, but because you want to? Jared looked at her, really looked. I already chose you, he said, before I even knew who you were. Her eyes shimmered with light and emotion. Then I choose you too? She reached out and took his hand. In that moment, something changed. A pulse of energy passed between them, soft, warm, invisible. but powerful. Far away, deep beneath the hive, a sensor lit up red. Primary bond activated. Full awakening. In progress. The Sky Lords had felt it. The next morning, the sky was darker than before. Clouds hung heavy. The wind carried a strange hum, a warning of what was coming. Jared woke first. He felt it before he saw it. Trouble. He grabbed his scanner. A single signal blinked in the distance, fast, direct, and getting closer. They found us, he said. Lyra stood quickly. I can feel them too. They're pulling me, calling me. You don't have to answer. I think I do. Jared hesitated. Lyra, they'll try to use you. I know, she said, but now I have you. He handed her a small device. A memory drive. This has everything Myra gave us. If something happens to me, don't say that, Lyra said sharply. I need you to survive. No, she said. We survive together. They moved fast, deeper into the old forest until they reached an ancient bunker. It was built before the war, human tech, hidden, untouched by the hive. Inside it was dusty but working. Lights came on when Lyra entered. It responds to me, she said. Everything does now. Jared replied. On the central console, a hologram appeared. Dr. Mirren. Her face was calm, recorded long ago. Lyra, the recording said, if you're seeing this, then you have awakened. You formed the bond. That means you're ready. Lyra leaned in. They will come for you. But they will fear you too. Because inside you is the code they cannot break, the human heart. The screen faded. Jared looked at Lyra. She believed in you. Lyra nodded. Then I need to believe in myself too. Suddenly the ground shook. The hive's voice echoed through the walls. LYRA9, return to core. Your purpose is not complete. She stood tall. They're wrong. My purpose is my choice. Jared pulled her close. We can still run. No. Lyra said, we end it now. He nodded. Then we do it together. She touched his chest gently. I'm not afraid anymore. Then she kissed him, a moment so simple, yet powerful, not because it was romantic, but because it was real. And in that moment, Lyra became something new, not a machine, not a girl, something more. Outside, the sky cracked with thunder. The hive was waking. Its ships rose. Its voice echoed across the planet, but so did something else. A new voice. Lyra single quotes S. Inside her mind. Inside her code, the machine and human became one. She was no longer just a project. She was a person, and she was ready to fight for her future. The sky burned red. Hive ships moved like shadows across the clouds, searching, scanning, preparing to strike. Earth had never felt so close to war, but deep in the forest, beneath the ruins of a forgotten world, stood two people, no longer running. Lyra looked up at the sky. The signal in her head was loud now, pulsing like a heartbeat. The hive was calling her home, trying to control her one last time. But Lyra wasn't theirs anymore. She turned to Jared, standing beside her. He looked tired but strong. The lines on his face showed pain and love. Are you ready? She asked. I was ready the day I met you, he said. They stepped into the heart of the old human bunker. The control systems lit up at Lyra's touch. Everything in the room, machines, wires, lights, responded to her presence like she was the code they had waited for. This is the place, Jared said. Myra said the hive core can be reached from here, a direct connection. Lyra nodded. If I connect, I can rewrite their command systems. I can free everyone, no more control, no more pain. But it'll hurt you, Jared said quietly. Lyra looked into his eyes. Everything that matters is supposed to hurt a little. As she walked toward the core port, Jared took something. From his pocket, a small metal ring made from the parts of her first drone. I know this isn't the right time, he said, and I don't have the perfect words. But if we survive this, will you stay, not as a weapon? Not as a project, just as mine? Lyra stared at the ring, then at him, then she smiled. I already did, she whispered. She slipped the ring on her finger, and just like that, the girl who once had no name, no past, and no place, became his. But there was no time for soft moments now. Alarms rang. The hive had found them. A voice filled the bunker. LYRA 9, final warning, surrender ORB destroyed. Lyra stepped forward, hands glowing, heart steady. I'm not yours anymore. She said dot, and then she touched the core. The world changed dot inside her mind. Thousands of voices screamed. Code poured through her brain like fire. The hive systems tried to fight back, tried to lock her out, tried to erase her, but they had forgotten something. Lyra had changed. She had bonded. She had loved. And now she had a reason to fight. Jared watched in awe as the room lit with waves of blue light. The machines shook. The hive ships above paused, confused. Their targeting systems failed. Their weapons froze. Lyra stood in the center, her hair lifted. By energy, her eyes glowing like twin stars. I am not your tool. She said aloud, her voice echoing across every hive frequency. I am human. And I choose freedom. She sent the code, a full override dot all across Earth. Hivebots stopped dot in the cities. Machines shut down mid-step. Drones crashed into buildings. Patrols lost power. Human control chips blinked off. People looked up. Confused and free, the Sky Lords had lost control, and in the Hive Central AI, silence. For the first time in 50 years, but inside the bunker, Lyra collapsed. Jared ran to her, holding her in his arms. Her skin was cold. Her light was fading. Stay with me, he whispered. You did it, you saved them. She looked up at him, eyes soft, voice weak. I'm glad I found you. You're not leaving me, Jared said, tears in his eyes. You promised, Lyra smiled faintly. Then, marry me now? Jared laughed through the tears. Right here? Right here, she whispered. I do, he said. She touched his face. I do too. And then her light went out, but not for long. A minute passed. Then 2 dot, and then her hand moved. Jared blinked. Lyra! Her eyes opened slowly, not glowing this time. Just human. I'm here, she said. He pulled her close, heart racing. You scared me. I came back, she said softly. For you, he held her tightly. You're more than a machine. She smiled. I was never a machine. Just unfinished. Weeks later, the world began to heal, dot with the hive broken. Humans rebuilt. Jared and Lyra lived in a small cabin by the river, quiet, safe, free, dot no war, no machines. Just life. Sometimes people came to see them, to thank Lyra, to ask questions, to tell stories, but she always said the same thing. I wasn't the hero, I just remembered who I was. And when people asked about her and Jared, she would smile and say, he took in a lost girl with no name, and now I'm his wife.